All right, welcome back. Good day today. Found a new store to shop at. So in North Carolina, there's ABC boards, and those boards have board stores, and they, it's a state ran liquor, but they're ran on county boards. And I found one in a smaller county. I'm not going to name it on here because it's my honey hole right now. If you have ever gone fishing, you know what we call a honey hole is, where you can always go and catch the good ones. So I know where to go and catch the good bourbons now, and we're going to get into them right after this. Here they are. These are the three I picked up today. All right. Got an Old Forester Statesman. I believe this may have been the most expensive one, but it was still under 60. I can't remember now. I told them I wanted the receipt. They gave me the receipt, and I threw it away by accident. Picked up Woodinville, the straight bourbon whiskey. This is out of Washington State. But today, we're going to review Wyoming. The reason is because the lady working the store there, very, very nice lady, knows a lot about bourbon. And I mean, I couldn't hardly name something that she, and I'm talking about Peg Leg out of Nashville and different things. And she's like, oh yeah, I had the 12 and now I don't, but it may be at the other store, but their warehouse is slim right now. I'm getting it. She said, this was not a high dollar bourbon. Okay. This was like $40, but she kept it behind the glass because they can't get very many of them. And she wants to know who's buying it. So, since I was able to talk bourbon with her, I guess I was, lucky enough to land a bottle of this. I don't know how lucky I am just yet because I haven't tried it. I don't know anything about it. So it's 44% by volume, 88 proof, small batch bourbon whiskey, distilled, barreled, and bottled in Kirby, Wyoming. It's got the bottle date is 10/3/19. Batch number is 64. And that's about all it says. It says the bourbon frontier has moved west of the Rocky, blah, blah, blah. I don't get into all their little hype stuff. I judge it by the whiskey, or by the bourbon. So let's pop this top. Good cork pop. All right. Pour you a little bit here. We'll get back into doing the little pours for you and for me. All right. No alcohol abuse. All right. So, Wyoming, she said this stuff flies off the shelves, so I'm kind of looking forward to it, but we'll check it out and we'll see what we think compared to all these other bourbons. All right. A little punchy on the nose, so it's probably going to drink around its alcohol content, which is 44%, 88 proof, which is sub 90, but I know I judge everything off the 90. But I think the nose was a little warmer than I think the proof. Yeah, a little bright. Maybe a little rye spice in there on the nose. Picking up some fruits though, vanilla, caramel. So yeah, so the fruits to me, at least on the nose, aren't coming across really dark. It's more of the fresh apple pear, but it's also not nosing sweet. It's just nosing a lot of alcohol. Legs on this thing, moderate. They're decent. They're pretty good. I'm expecting a good tongue coating with this. I'm not getting a lot of wood notes out of it. The color on it, it's kind of light amber, so you can't add color to bourbon, so it's going to pick up everything out of the charred oak. So depending on how long it was there, I don't have an age statement on here. I looked it over, pulled the plastic off so I wouldn't wrestle with that on camera, but there's no age statement. And again, I don't look these up. The legs are pretty decent though. So let's give her an initial taste. Okay. There is some rye in it. I can tell you that. Don't like to give a lot of notes off that first sip, but I can tell you that it tastes, the palate is about as sweet as the nose. It's like a lower end semi-sweet bourbon with some rye kick to it. So let's get back into it. It is drinking a little sharp on the back end, but right after that little sharpness, there's a good little finish on it. I'm not going to say it's a huge lingering finish, but it's decent and it's there. For what I paid for this, I've paid more for worse, for sure. So that may be the draw on this, is that for the price, you're getting a multi-noted bourbon that's fairly complex, certainly not watered down at all. Even though it's a lower proof, they just distilled it at a lower proof because they did not water this down. So you're getting a full punch flavor off this thing. Not very many bready notes to it. I think there is some wheat in it, but a lot of times when you put the rye spice in, I think, that kind of muddles that a little bit. So it's certainly not a wheater, but I do enjoy it. And it's on the back end, the warmth, it's drinking soft, right? I wouldn't call this silky smooth on the tongue, but on the finish, it's nice. It's a really nice bourbon. Not the best in the world, but I was excited to try it, and I've tried it, and I am getting. I do like it, and I think this is a good one to go to every once in a while, especially at that lower proof. If you're just getting ready to start your night out or whatever, and you don't want something that's gonna 127 you right off the bat, I think this is a good lower end to have a little snip, or as a dessert bourbon. Well, it's not sweet enough for that, but I would not put a cigar with it either. I don't think the finish is long enough. It doesn't linger long enough, but just as a standalone sipper, it's really, really tasty. Oh yeah. Yeah, and the creamy caramels are coming out more the more I sip on it. Actually, I didn't pour myself enough, so I'm going to take yours because it is a really good bourbon. Yeah, you know what? Let me try something right quick. I'm going to put it upside of Michter's. Now, I know Michter's is not a high rye at all, but there's something about the caramel in it. I just want to try this next to it to remind myself, and I'm just going to pour a tiny bit of that. Now, if you didn't watch my live stream or haven't seen it, Michter's small batch, the U.S. one, the regular small batch bourbon, Kentucky Straight Bourbon, is the one I recommend if you like Eagle Rare, okay? But Eagle Rare, I will admit, gives you some darker notes, like maybe more into to darker fruit notes and darker caramel. But this gives you a significant caramel, vanilla punch too. And it is, talking about on the smoothness scale, it is a lot darker than Wyoming. So we have that. And Eagle Rare is darker than this, so, that's just the aging and the char. Oh, that That is fantastic bourbon right there. This is good bourbon. This is really good bourbon, okay? That's what you're running into. But with that said, the reason I wanted to contrast them is I do like rye, some rye spice from time to time. This is almost like getting the caramel from this. Now this is sweeter with a little kick of rye in it. So I think as a bourbon to put on the shelf, compared and contrast wise, this is a good one to have. I'm glad. I'm certainly not ruining the purchase at all. I don't do that with any of my bourbons. I just put them on the other shelf over there. But the apples are starting to come through a lot. Now with this one, you can get some apricot-y stuff out of there. But the apple is really starting to flare through, and it's more like a all-spicy type apple as compared to Michter's. So Michter's is more sweet, creamy, smooth. This is more spicy apple, but still smooth on the finish. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I hope you can find this if you have it on the shelf around where you are in your geographical location. If not, I apologize, but I had to pick up a new one for me. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. As always, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell down there for notifications. Share me out, and I promise I'll keep bringing you these videos.